All right, we're going to get started momentarily as we allow people to filter in. And we're going to be doing a special edition of our live stream today, which I will explain shortly. Go ahead and say hello. I'll be the first person in the chat. Also, I want to post this just to make sure everybody understands. You can submit super chats today, but they're not going to guarantee a review. Only submit a super chat to show your appreciation. I'll explain shortly. All right. Hello, Dono. What's up? Winterbach. Zaid. Hello. Hassan. CFD. Sharma. Manises or something. Sorry. Pedro. I'll just call you Pedro. From Italy. Hello. From notifications, there you go. All right, so we're having technical difficulties with Discord today because if I try to type something, it just immediately shows up as red. So that's not cool. So we may have to try to do something a little bit different in order to get some submissions. Yes. All right. Okay. So, all right, well, there's one. Well, I'm not allowed to type? Somebody did actually submit a review. Okay, well, maybe it will work. All right. So, what I'm going to decide to do today is we're going to do things a little bit differently. That's why I'm calling it a special edition. And we're going to be doing a review still, but I'm going to be redesigning portions of them, or at least the areas that I think need the most attention from your submission. So I'll be hopping into Adobe XD to actually demonstrate what I'm talking about rather than just talking about it. So most of the time my reviews, I'm just talking about what needs to be fixed, but I'm going to show this time. That means we're probably going to not be able to show as many or go through as many reviews because I'm going to be spending a little bit more time designing, but still, at least each review will actually have something more, more substance to it, where I can actually show. So this stream is brought to you by hover.com. All right, so hover.com allows you to register domains over 400 different extensions. There are a ton. .design is one of them. .inc, I believe, and there's a bunch of others. And it's perfect if you're a website designer, or web developer, or whatever, to have a domain with that particular extension, especially as all the major .coms and .nets or whatever, they're already taken practically. Plus, they're just more relevant. So definitely check this out. Like I said, there's hundreds of extensions, free domain privacy. All of that stuff is available here. So it's the very first line in the description here on YouTube. And you can get 10% off automatically for your first order at checkout by using our promo code Design Course. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So like I said, we're going to have, and I need to paste this again. Oh, wait, I already pasted something else. I just have to let everybody know, don't send a super chat, because it's not going to guarantee you a review like normally, all right? So let's go ahead and just get started. Now, I may not do a actual redesign depending on the submission that I receive. If it looks like you have a really good submission, I'll do it. But also, if you have a horrible submission that's like maybe a 1 out of 10 or a 2 or 3 out of 10 or a 4 out of 10 even, I may not even bother because there's just too much work. So I'm kind of looking something in the middle where I can do a small change that will be quick and easy, but not something that's going to take forever. So let's just go ahead right here. I am 3 months into web development, and this is my portfolio. Let's check it out. So if you're 3 months into web development or web design in general, I'm actually kind of impressed so far with this, the few seconds that I've seen so far. So let's go ahead. Let's refresh this. There's some animation. I'm Ahmed. I build websites, front-end freelancer, and UI UX designer. Hire me and see more. Okay, so one thing I would probably change about this is the value right here of the color. It's a little bit hard to see. I know this wouldn't pass the color contrast ratio, so if the higher me, you could probably make that black, and that would work. We have a watermark that says designer over here. That's okay. Services, my work, contact. I would probably condense those a little bit more. But from what I see so far, there's nothing really bad. Let's look at the rest of what's happening here. So this one, you're going to want to increase the contrast. Definitely, it's hard to read that. Increase the font size a little bit right here. I'm just trying to also look and see if there's anything that's worth me taking the time to redesign. And really, this is all pretty solid. The cards, good white space inside, good visual hierarchy. Just a couple issues with contrast. See, notice this color right here, this yellowish sort of color with the black on top. It's much better than as opposed to having these white. Way better than the white on the similar color here. So that's really, you know, this is very solid. 3 months, if this is something you design from scratch on your own, very solid. So what do you think this person deserves for a rating? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Someone said 4, 9, 8, 8, 7, 8, 9. I mean, for me, this is a little strange. It's a little bit cluttered here. I'm going to go ahead and give this a, let me scroll this down, 7.3. Yeah, I think that's pretty solid right there. Solid rating. Keep it up. Good job. All right. Sam Nan. All right, Phil, I've seen this one already. You probably made changes. I can't remember what those changes were. So far, this is looking pretty solid. We have a register, a little bit of an animation. Just clicking through this. All right, looks pretty solid. Nothing that I would really change here for the most part. Being that I already reviewed this and there's not a lot here, we're not going to bother with a rating. It's all pretty solid though. Keep it up, Sam Nan. Bogdan Paul. All right. All right, let's move this over. Okay. One thing I would change is if you're going to use a video background, I would try to increase the quality a little bit because it is really low resolution. So there's a lot of artifacts in the video itself. I would try to increase it just a little bit more if possible. So your dream can come true with me. You know, yeah, I would probably put a subheadline that elaborates a little bit further on that. Just because it's a little bit too obtuse, if you know what I mean. All right, so here we have a pretty big issue, and that is with white space. For this, I could probably just do this in browser, the fix here, but there is several things that need to be fixed. So let's this would be a good one to hop into Adobe XD to do a quick redesign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot this. I'm not sure if you can see what I'm doing at this point in time, but I'm going to copy it. There we go. And then we're going to hop into Adobe XD. All right. So here in Adobe XD, what I'm going to do is just paste what I screenshotted. And we're going to make some big improvements to this. So I take this in. Just take it in a tad bit more. All right. So now like I said, there's many things that need to be addressed in this section. So I'm going to take my width back to 1920, and we're going to use the same background color. So we're going to take this. All right. So first off, the icons up in this section. So this is its own section where it says 17 drunk coffees and 2 satisfied clients. This is its own section, but it really doesn't feel like a section because of lack of white space. But these icons being black on almost gray, I wouldn't do that. It's just a little bit too, not enough contrast. So, and they look strange because only a part of those icons have a lot of contrast, which is the orange area. So it's not a good flow. It's not consistent with what you would want it to be. What we can do instead of that is, let's go to Icon Finder real quick. See if we could find some similar icons, just so we can replace those. Like, I'm not sure if they're going to have coffee. Again, I'm going to want to use free right here. So, you know, we could do something like, that looks like a pretty nice one. So we'll get the, download the icon here. I'm going to open it up in the folder and then just, oops, come over here and we're going to place it in there. All right. So the fill, let's see if we could just make it white. Okay, cool. Now we're going to scale this up just for this amount a little bit. And we're going to put 17 drunk coffees. All right. So again, I'm not going to be really focused too much on the verbiage here. I just want to situate what the content that he does have a little bit better. 17. What type of font is he using? It just looks like, it looks pretty, actually that looks like Montserrat actually. So we'll stick with that. So Montserrat, we'll make this white. We'll bold this one to create some visual hierarchy between these two elements. We're going to increase this. Now again, we have to have visual hierarchy between the icon in this element as well, which right now we don't. They both seem like they're the same, they're competing for the same space. So we'll fix that. I think what we could do is, I want to see what satisfied clients. All right, so maybe we could do something like this. We could resituate it where the icon's right here. I don't know, I kind of like it being smaller. This is the problem with live design. It's one of those things where you're not too sure how things might work. So bear with me. 17 drunk coffees. I don't even know what that means, honestly, but whatever. Drunk. Let's see here. There's many ways we could take this. I'm not sure if I like what I see yet, but still, we're going to keep on experimenting just a little bit. That's kind of okay, but I want to use color to separate these out a little bit more. So with that said, maybe we can use the 17 and give it that orange color. So we could take this and then maybe take this down in opacity or just contrast a tad bit. I'm not sure. We'll leave it like that for now. I may change this. Let's see what it looks like with two of them side by side, because he did have two of them. So we'll take a repeat grid real quick. Now there's only two of them, so yeah, I do kind of want them to be larger. So let's ungroup that and delete this. Now, is there a chance that we can make them all on the same row? So let's ungroup that. Maybe we could do something like, that way we can take a little bit more space width-wise here. Let's take this. Okay, I think it's a little bit too thick though, so I'm wondering if I can change the stroke up here a little bit, the stroke width. I don't think I can, because I don't think these are actual strokes. They're not, unfortunately. It's that situation. Now, I would normally try to find something that's a little bit thinner overweight, but that's not what we have to work with. So that's okay. I'm almost wondering, it just feels too large because it's so thick. Now, I'm not probably going to spend the whole time redesigning this whole thing because we'll be here the whole time. But I did want to address just like 2 sections at least. All right, this is frustrating me. So what I'm going to do is we're going to find a thinner, something thinner. Let's do this one. That is definitely thinner. So I'm going to open that in folder, and we'll get this over here. And again, I think I just want to take the contrast down a little bit. All right, so now we're going to duplicate that. There we go. So I think this top section right here, compared to this, is definitely structured better. Now, client projects, let's focus on that real quickly. So I'm going to put client projects right here. And you don't want it like this. I mean, that is way too close. If you're going to center it, you know, whatever, push it down at least to that amount. So let's take everything and just kind of push it down. Give it room to breathe. You could center it if you want. You could also kind of put it over here to the left. And then you could have your situation over here. You could push these over. But then having only 2 of these, I would have 3, honestly. That way you can kind of fill out the space a little bit more. If you could figure out, you know, another element to put there, that would make sense. Client projects, you can do your little underscore thing if you wish. Maybe we'll do pill. And then we'll do this. And then you start off with your next, with your little laptop image. Oh, what the hell was that? Why did I do that? There we go. So we'll just assume, you know, this is the laptop. It's not a laptop, of course, but the way you're centering this text, that's not ideal either. So let's just say, for instance, I will have type here. Something like that. And then we'll duplicate that. We'll go ahead and pull that down just a bit. We'll take this down like 17 or so. We'll make that regular. And then we'll come over here to our, we're almost done, by the way. Plugins, I'll go to, where's my lorem ipsum crap? Right here, quick. Let's beef up that line height. Take down the opacity just to create some more visual hierarchy and separation between those elements. And we can come down Again, I want a little bit more separation here between these elements. And then it's a matter of, you know, we could make the icon a little bit bigger. Push this right here. We'll duplicate this. And you can do the whole reverse, you know, situation where we have one over here. And then we'll right align these. Now, generally speaking, I would probably want less width on these. More separation between each one of them. So if I take this, do the same thing up here. Yeah, it's kind of hard to work with the icons, but if we had the actual these things over here, it might be a little bit easier to fit those in. Let me see. Let me actually, I forgot, I can screenshot this stuff. Let's take this down. Sorry, I'm not reading comments at the moment. We'll do one more. Scale this down. Again, you want it to be pretty much the same size, which it looks like it is. So you might also want to separate the sections of content using maybe just a container like this. You don't have to, but I think in this context it might help. So what we can do is we can get out our layers, put this to the bottom pretty much, and then take it down big time. That way we have just a very subtle separation between what's occurring here. So here's the before. All right, notice everything is just kind of clumped up, not much white space. And then here's a potential after, in a sense. All right, so hopefully that was helpful. I know I spent a lot of time on that one, but let's go ahead and continue on. We're not going to bother with a rating just because we've already been focused on that person quite a bit. All right. Next up, all right, let's translate this because I have no clue what's happening here. All right, personalized embroidered products made of heart. Our consistently manufactured goods are tailored for blah, 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 blah. To shop, to shop. Okay, I know that that's broken. The translation's probably broken. Looking at this, let's see here. By the way, how long have I been streaming? I like kind of knowing that information. Oh, 23 minutes. Okay. This part's not too bad here in the center. It's really not. It kind of gets lost a little bit because it's very similar to the background it's sitting on. On this section, there's a gradient. I would like to see maybe scale down the size of the logo. It kind of blends in, especially the sub headline of the logo with the navigation. They're very similar text, if not the same type. So they're kind of getting lost a little bit. I might want to change that up. Recommend products. Let's see here. Okay, so the hover, changing it to this light blue on this light gray, they don't really work well. So I wouldn't change the color, the background color on hover. Just leave that off. If you want to make it, leave that whole thing where it's zooming up the image a little bit, you can do that. That's not a big deal. All right. Not enough here for me to really try to demonstrate in XD or anything, so we'll just do a quick rating. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do you think this person deserves? One problem is, though, in mobile, there's no way to access the menu. There's no like hamburger icon. So that's a little bit problematic there. Yeah, for me, I'm just going to give this one a 6.8 or so. It's because it's not too bad. It has character. Well, why would you put the menu at the bottom navigation, or at the bottom? People want to access the navigation, you know, have a quick way to access it at the top. All right. Thank you for the submission, though. All right. Here is the next one. All right. Hello, my name is Harris or Haris. I'm not sure how you guys pronounce that. Amir. I'm a developer. Okay. All right. Okay. Having a little bit of issue with the topography here between these two lines. Notice this is only slightly smaller than this text, so it's throwing it off. Is this monster at? Yes, it is. All right. I kind of like this section. The more button gets kind of lost a little bit. I like the photograph. I like the fact that this part's pretty dark and the text is easily readable. This one might be a good candidate for me to demonstrate a couple things in XD though. Definitely, I'd scale down the size of this right here. It's competing a little bit too much, and it's a little bit too much the same size as my name is. So I would scale these down a little bit more. I might want to improve just the type real quick. I'll try to do this as fast as possible for a redesign. So we'll take this and we'll go back to XD. We'll get out another artboard. No, not 1280, damn it. Well, it doesn't matter. Come on here. All right, so let's scale this down. Let me just get another one. Where's Web 1920? There we go. All right. What the hell? I forgot to switch to the move tool. Okay. So now let's get this up. Let's get it situated in. Okay. We'll go back to our 1920 right here. All right, so we're going to start off with the background color right here. And really what I'm going to do is I'm not going to redesign this part. I mean, I could redesign it and we could make some improvements, but I don't want to focus on that area really. So let's just put this here. We'll get another container roughly around the same size with the same color. Get rid of the stroke. I hate how Adobe XD adds just strokes by default to everything. All right. So the part I want to improve is this whole type area. So this seems like to be some sort of title, possibly. I am a web developer and UI UX designer based in somewhere in Pakistan. Okay, so we're going to take this type. We're going to copy that. We're going to put it into its own type layer here. I want good white space all around. Let's left align that. We'll stick with the same font that he's using. And again, the type that I'm going to use isn't necessarily the type that you see right here. I just want to get everything out here, all the type, to make it something that so I can see everything in context with each other. So you don't always have to just sit here with one type layer and figure out exactly what it's going to be. We're going to take that, come down. All right, so let's copy this next bit. All right, let's get rid of that. I accidentally copied that. Friends is spelled wrong. There we go. There we go. Fix that for you. All right. So this is a 22. Let's come down a little bit. Again, this is bad between these two right now. And again, we can maybe even have more white space. A lot of white space really makes things look better for the most part. All right, we're gonna take the web development title, put that here, copy this. Again, I'm gonna fix all this stuff up. I'm just getting all the type here. Where is this? We'll copy that. And I suppose we'll do, because we have the physical space to do it, this, oh, what the hell happened? This right here, it's just a list of Figma, Adobe XD, Illustrator, Photoshop, blah, blah, blah. Let me just copy this. Almost done and ready to get to the fun part. Okay. All right, so what I didn't like about like this type right here, it's not real bad, but it's lacking in line height between each other. It's also suffering from some issues of typographic visual hierarchy right here with it, where it says I'm a web developer. This line is smaller type than this. It doesn't really make sense to me. White space is a little bit strange between some of the areas, like beneath this paragraph and this right here. So let's see if we can improve it. So I've already improved it a lot just by scaling down the size of the type to around 18. I think this is a little bit large, especially with the little amount of line height that's between these. So you can just see if we zoom out, in my opinion, this kind of just looks and feels better already, but let's just continue on. So I am a web developer and a UI UX designer based in blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's that's an important piece of information. It's a piece of information I don't think that they included. Or did they? I'm a web developer. Okay, so they're elaborating a little bit further. So can we possibly, how do we want to emphasize that? We can increase the scale. So that's one of the most important or prominent ways to separate something in terms of design. And so we want to make that, we can make that larger, or we could go back to 18 and we could make it bold. We could also make it a different color, perhaps this one over here. So that is one way you can create the visual hierarchy between these various elements, but I think I want to take it a little step further. We're going to use this. We're going to make it, we're going to go from 18 to 30. Now we could also go bold on the whole thing, like this. You could maybe only make certain words bold. So you have a lot of options. Like we can make this bold. And again, I may not settle on this. I just want to give you some options. And then, so now what we could do, looking at this, we could also make those words this color. I kind of want to make that a little bit lighter. And maybe increase the line height here. So where's it at? Wait, what's happening? Am I not allowed to adjust the line height? What's happening here? Why aren't you? What is that happening? How strange. Maybe it's because some of these are bold or something? I have no clue. Oh well. And so there's a lot of ways that you can approach it, is basically what I'm saying. Again, maybe I'll go back and make this regular. Because sometimes when you try to vary up the type too much in a headline like this, it might become a little bit overbearing. Yes, it was because those two words were bold, so then for some reason you're not allowed to adjust the line height. So I kind of like this. And again, we could take the paragraph sections only, drop them down maybe slightly in terms of contrast. Then we have this headline, which he did pretty good over here, the web development section. Again, we can go up to 30 possibly. Right here for the, what this person does in terms of web development, like the Figma, Adobe XD, Adobe Illustrator, and Photoshop. Instead of having a list here, you could probably do something like a 3-column list right here, where each of those, the associated logos with those are displayed. So let's go get those real fast. And I'm not going to do all the logos. I'll just do like a couple. So if I go to images here, I'm going to drag that to my desktop. I already have that logo there. My desktop is like a cluttered mess. We're going to scale that down. So we'll put this just as a reference and make this black. And then we'll do an Illustrator. What is happening? Why is this happening? This has happened to me sometimes before, and I'm not sure how to fix it. Oh, it was like typing right to left. All right, it fixed itself. All right, so let me get the Illustrator logo file specifically. We'll just do one more just so you can get the context. This will be the last one. And if you wanted to, maybe not everybody knows what AI is, right? You could put a label next to them. So I will just duplicate this. Wait, Adobe Experience Design. And how you situate these, again, you have options. How would I want to do this? Sometimes you can do something like this. So we can caps lock all of them for these labels. You can bold them. You can increase the letter spacing, but make them small. And then maybe take down the opacity so that the focus is the icon and not necessarily the label. Not sure if I like that. Let's just put Adobe XD. All right, and then basically the same thing here, and then, continue on with whatever you need to do. Something like that. So here's the original right here. All right. So again, the only thing that we adjusted is this area right here on the type. Like I said, it was suffering from some visual hierarchy issues and line height, and also white space issues slightly right here. And then here's the revamped version that I created. I think it's a lot better. Just has more room. There's more white space all around. It's just restructured a little bit better, in my opinion. All right. So that's the second one we did. At this point in time, we've been live streaming for what? 40 minutes. Okay. We're going to go ahead and real quickly mention the sponsor of this live stream, which is hover.com. You can register over 400 different domain extensions from .design, .inc, .photo, I believe. There are so many more. And you can get 10% off your first order if you use the promo code Design Course. It's the top link in the description. It's free domain privacy. Like I said, hundreds of extensions, best-in-class support, domain emails, and all of that stuff. So definitely take advantage of the offer. The more you take advantage of these offers, the more live streams I can do because they'll keep coming back. We want it to be profitable for them. So next up, let's continue. Was it this person? No, we didn't check that one out yet. All right. I'm looking at some comments here. Well, maybe we'll have a Q&A afterwards. Mildly like this channel. I'm glad you'll mildly like it. Slayer shirt. I still have my Slayer shirt. All right, so it's a little bit disconnected way all these panels are outlined. I'm not sure really where I want to look first. So I might, if I were you, want to, I mean, that's okay. I don't want to be a nitpicker. But if you are going to go this route, keep the same amount of white space between each of these because there's a little here, but then it's a little bit larger here. Then it's really large here. So you have inconsistency in your white space. That's and that's one thing that you're going to want to change. The about, skills, projects, blogs, contact section, they're all disconnected. They're real far apart from each other. And also it does look a little bit strange having just the box shadow or the outer shadow or the outer glow, if you will, on each one of these. So I would remedy that and fix that up. I'm almost, yeah, we're gonna do a redesign here. Just because I know it's gonna be, and plus I didn't even realize this. There's like the whole thing's centered unnecessarily. Like there's no reason to have this space over here or over here. So let's go back and let's adjust this. All right. I'm reading some of the chat. I'm not necessarily responding to all of it. Okay. Let's go back to XD. What am I doing? Wait. Get out of here. All right. So we're going to take our Web 1920. Put it down here. Paste his in. We're just going to work on the sidebar navigation. Wow, the hearing in my right ear just went almost 100% completely out, like just in an instant. Probably means I'm going to die soon. All right. All right, so let's get the background here. We'll use that. Again, this is what we're working with. I'm not going to bother changing any of this stuff over here. We're just going to leave it the same. I only wanted to focus on that sidebar area. All right, so sidebar, I'm not sure if I agree with the color between these two. I think it's a little bit too drastic. So let's just get that color though initially. Let's get the sidebar going here. It's a pretty large sidebar. We'll go ahead and take this. Let's see if we can possibly slightly improve. It's not bad separation between a panel like this in terms of the color, but let me just take the background color here and see if we can maybe change it up. It's actually, his is pretty good. So they are really similar. If I bring mine over, mine's just slightly darker. All right. So let's improve this area right here. So we have home, we have about, skills, projects, blog, and contact. All right, so let's get those over here. it has all the, it remembered all the other stuff from last one. Let's get those fixed up real quickly. About, now is he capitalizing these? No, he's not. By the way, what font is that? Let me go back here. This is an extension called what font? Roboto Lab. I'm not sure if I have that. No, I don't, unfortunately. Oh well, that's fine. We'll just leave this here. I'll still be able to improve it just working with this font. So let's go up to at least probably like around 17. And let's see if we can improve this sidebar real quickly. So he has icons associated with each one of them. You know, do I want to change that? Yeah, we can have icons as well. Again, icons just take more time for me to go find them and all that stuff. For now, let's just leave those out. And let's repeat grid this. I think he had 5. Well, let's not repeat grid yet. Let's just work on this specifically. Because he did have containers around his, and we can do the container thing as well. And there's several different ways to approach containers like this in a sidebar. You could have it like this, where each of the containers are separated out. Oops, let's go up above. Or you can make them extend all the way the entire width of the sidebar container. We'll keep that just for now. So we'll do it the way he's been doing it. And I want equal white space all around from the left and to the right. So for now, let's go ahead and repeat this grid. And getting the white space between each one of these is pretty important. He had a bunch like this, and that's just too separated. See? Way too separated out. So we're going to take this down. You know, we could go real close, like that even. But I'm not going to leave it like this. So just hold on one second. I'm going to take all these, right click and ungroup. So for these containers, we know we're currently on the about page because it says about me. So we could take these down all the way, or you could possibly bring them up in opacity, but I don't really like that. Let's change these up. So what was it about? Skills. Don't worry, I'm still going to improve things. We're not done yet. Skills, projects, blogs, and contact. Also, let's even talk about, before I continue on, like, why would you have a sidebar navigation when this is the only amount of content that you have, which is simply a navigation with 5 links? It's just taking up a lot of space width-wise, and it makes a lot more sense to take up only a little bit of space if they were horizontal-based navigations. So a sidebar makes sense when you have a lot more information that perhaps you want. You have like a large navigation and perhaps some other information that you want to be visible like at all times. So in this context, I don't even agree with having a sidebar navigation, but we'll ignore that, which is more of a UX issue. And we'll focus more just on, you know, the UI design of it. So we could separate these out. When it comes to your menus, you also have to worry about visual hierarchy. Just having this here, which indicates the current page that you're on, it's not enough. We could take these right here and we can make those medium. We could take down the opacity a little bit. We might even want to, at this point, take all this stuff and we might want to increase the white space between each one of these Again, I'm not able to see. It's not giving me guides too much. Okay. So I like this a little bit better. I may even want to take each one of these and go from medium to regular. And this here, in and of itself, is a lot better than all of this. Being real spaced out, having the glows, also having the icons. This is much more simplified. And it would even make more sense to have more content here. So for instance, if I type in, I'm on my other monitor, 1 second. We could have, it would make perfect sense to put your social media icons here. So we could put the Dribble logo somewhere. Let's see here. It's a stupid PNG file. It's not SVG. So hold on, that's not going to work. Actually, this might be. Is that SVG? I don't know. We'll find out. I don't think it needs to be because it's already a good color. Why is it? It must be WebP. It won't allow me to paste that in. Well, son of a bee. There's no freaking... Come on, SVG, man. Give me an SVG logo here. Is this SVG? All right, now that's supposed to be SVG. Yes, it is. Great. So what I'm talking about, and I'm not going to do all the icons. You guys understand what I'm talking about. You know, get these down here. Get them pretty small. You know, have your different social media icons. If you want a sidebar like this, you know, have those all situated right there. And again, I wanted to talk about one other thing. If I take this whole side area and go like this, that's going to break everything. If I go like this, this kind of looks a little bit more silly in this context, but you can kind of push things over like that, and that way these little the active state will go all the way to the right and left of the container. But I still think this works quite well in and of itself. So here is the before, and then here is the after of what I would do. A lot more simplistic and more condensed vertically. All right. Now let's continue on. We are at, trying to find how long we've been going. 52 minutes. All right. So I did 3 of those reviews. I think that's all I'm going to do for the actual redesigns. And from here on out, I'm going to do a bunch more, or not a bunch, but as fast as I can, actual reviews where we rate them. So let's continue. Let's try to knock these out really fast because I know I didn't get too many of you, and you're going to be annoyed about that, or you are annoyed already. Did I do this one? Yeah, that's the last one. All right. So let's check this out. Yeah, Gary Simon fan page. Always have to have that. That's rated a 10 automatically. Let's check this one out. All right. Maybe instead of doing like an all-out review, because we don't have much time left, let's go ahead and just rate these. I'll give my rating and then you give your rating. So we're going to have rapid fire rating. All right. For a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate this person's portfolio? Not a lot of white space between these, and they're uneven. You want to make sure that this one's the same height. These are okay right here. Might want to bold this up, create more visual hierarchy. Not using floating labels, very bad. Tisk, tisk. For me, I'm going to give this one a rating of 6.3. All right, next up, let's do another one. AmbiSeek. We got some issues here. Let's refresh this. Some initial animation occurring here. Yeah, not good. We want to have good white space here, and there's not. It's kind of pushed up to the left. I know you wanted to probably get the contrast with the clouds in the lighter area, but I think you need to rethink this whole section because it just looks way off. This, honestly, it's centered, should be centered here, and then maybe you can take the background and really push it out. So I'm going to give, well, let's just check it out a little bit further. Yeah, these definitely need work here, and you need to resituate how you're approaching these blips right here. Really, this Y and Learn More should be probably centered up top with these in their own 3 columns on 1 row underneath. All right, what do you think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the very worst and 10 being the best. Mentalix, I usually always do that. Today, I just lacked the time because we did a redesign. So I did actually for the last 2 tell them why. Yeah. So this one, unfortunately, I have to rate a little bit lower, or quite a bit lower than most of the ratings. So I'm going to give this one a 4. All right. Moving on. Another developer portfolio. All right, so I'm not sure why you've decided to make the R green. It throws me off a little bit. Little issue with visual hierarchy here. I mean, not visual hierarchy, but alignment in respect to the line height. You know, you want to bring this together a little bit more, less line height on this right here. And then I think it'll flow a little bit better. This right here, this border, unnecessary clutter, I would just remove that. Coming up here next here. The way these are separated aren't too bad. What do you think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Take this resume.pdf, push that down a lot more white space, but you don't want this getting lost between this and this right here. So, you know, I would take this element right here and just do margin like that. That would look a lot better than what it was. So for a rating on this one, I'm going to go ahead and give this one like around a, oops, that didn't work. There we go. Like around a 6.5 or something. All right, next up, we are checking out, oh, no, I already did that one. This one, Adobe XD. More and more I'm hating reviewing prototypes like from Figma and XD, but that's okay. Get started. This is pretty decent. The forgot password and have not started learning yet should probably be structured a little bit differently from each other. So there's a lack of visual hierarchy there. I'm going to hit sign in. Unfortunately, these cards right here aren't designed that well, in my opinion. The mid gray on the light gray kind of just doesn't work well. I'd probably make those white, if anything, because you still do have a subtle gray background. So what do you think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Again, I'm not sure why the side of this is cut off here. You might want to fix that up. There's some good things happening, but there's some, you know, this is like an issue, probably the biggest issue. So for this, again, I'm just going to probably rate somewhere around like a 6.8. I'm not able to really, we're running out of time, so I'm not really able to spend a lot of time on each one of these. Just a React side project. Wait, what? Wait, what? This is Amazon. What is happening here? Need the design from me? I'm not designing anything for you. Sorry, bro. Let's continue on. Ooh, we have the trendy overlapping of content situation here. All right, that's pretty cool. But you know what? I think it's overlapping too much. I would either push this over to the right or take this text and push it to the left a little bit more. See the rooms. That should probably be like this by default. The hover state should be the default state because it sticks out a lot more. So I would adjust that. Pretty cool sort of layout that you have here. It's definitely modern. I don't like all these pop-ups though. The COVID update and the damn cookie acceptance thing. A little bit light on the contrast here. But overall, this is actually pretty good. I would just fix that, you know, that slight issue I mentioned here. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do you think? I really like this section around here. I'm going to go ahead and give this one like an 8 or a 7.8, 7.9. It's pretty solid. It's our best one, I think, that we received today. All right, it's been over an hour right now. So that's going to conclude it. As always, make sure to check out our sponsor, which is hover.com. /welcome/design course. The link's in the YouTube description. If you have a first order there, a first time order, you get 10% off using the promo code designcourse.com. They have over 400 domain extensions that you can use, including .design, .inc, .photo, I believe. There's so many more. And so if you have a design portfolio or you're a developer, it makes sense to use one of these cool, awesome, one of the many new domain extensions. I remember back in the day, I only had the option of like 4, like .com, .net, .org. I think that was it for initially, like back in the late 90s and early 2000s. So yeah, definitely check it out. Like I said, free domain privacy, hundreds of extensions, best-in-class support in your own domain email as well. So check that out, and I will see you guys